Hey, what's up? This is Echo, and this is my music. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Echo. I'm a trance and progressive producer based out of New York City, and I have an upcoming artist production album coming out on Armada Music on June 27th. And if you do know me, then welcome to the first of several videos in which I'll be taking you deeper into the artist album music. The music album is a result of almost a year of production work, and unlike most of the artists on the Armada label, I'm actually not a professional musician. So I spent the past year writing this album while also finishing my last year of college and working several days a week. So you can definitely see a lot of inspiration that I drew from my day-to-day life here in New York. And going into the production of this album, I really wanted to approach it as something different and something that I could make very personal.
So I read about Ace of 500.
Yeah.
You opened the set. How was it like?
Yeah, it was amazing. I played a State of Trance 450, and that was already a great experience. But to be invited to Holland to play 500 is incredible. Just a huge party. I've never seen anything like it.
The State of Trance 500 in the bush, right?
Yeah, incredible.
Right. Well, you opened the set. How was the set going?
It was actually really exciting because they hadn't opened the doors yet.
Yeah. Until
I pressed play. And once I pressed play, the doors opened and just a million people ran in. It was really amazing. I couldn't believe that, because we had already walked through some of the other rooms and they were all packed, and I was like, who's gonna come to my room? Who's gonna come when I start the set? So it was amazing. Press play, and then the room was half full already. So
the crowd goes crazy.
Yeah, it was really exciting. So
it sounds amazing.
Yeah, from that point on, it got more packed and just a lot of fun.
Well, how long did you play on the set?
It was a 1 hour set.
1 hour set.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when and why did you start DJing? And producing, of course.
I started when I was about 15.
Yeah.
With like hip hop music. So cool. I was into a lot of New York hip hop, and I bought the turntables and the vinyls, and I was learning how to scratch and all that stuff. And then eventually I bought some CDs of trance with like German DJs and some Dutch DJs, of course. And from that point on, I was just hooked and started producing trance and DJing trance. And I was still DJing it on vinyl too, so I have a lot of old vinyls. It was cool. A lot of fun to play with.
Alright, so you made, first of all, you started DJ of producing hip hop?
I didn't produce hip hop, but I had a lot of records that I would DJ with on the turntable. So.
And why did you started producing trance?
I just loved some of the. Everybody, I don't think trance is something you like from the beginning. You always get hooked at one point, and that was my moment. I think I heard some Ferry Corsten CDs, Tiesto, of course, Armin, and a lot of the German guys like Tala and some old school trance all-stars. And from that point on, I said, this is great. Like, you don't hear this in rock, you don't hear this in hip-hop. And a lot of my friends weren't listening to it. Now they are, but nobody really heard of it. So I was just excited to hear something new and cutting edge.
So when they hear the first time the trance tracks from you, what was their feeling?
It wasn't like it is now. What I was making early on was pretty bad. Yeah. So for like the first 2 years, I was just seeing what I could come up with and experimenting with how to make tracks, and eventually, I guess with every producer, you reach a level where you can start releasing music, and that happened when I was about 18 or 19. So the early stuff was really bad.
How old are you now?
24.
24.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've done such a great job.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, now something about your tracks. Where do you get the inspiration and the creativity from?
It's really about, like, I take a lot of inspiration
Yeah.
for my day to day, like, because I this whole year I was going to school and I was working too, so it's just about everything. Especially living in New York, you see a lot of stuff every day and just a lot of inspiration everywhere. Like the buildings and sunsets and just different things influence ideas in my head, and eventually that gets put into songs, and that's where it comes from.
All right, all right. Well, in what club you started DJing?
I started playing, I guess, when I was 17.
Yeah.
I played some like teen parties
Mhm.
for young kids, and they were actually really nice clubs, but they were just only for young kids, like from 16 to 18 years old. And eventually, I played a lot of New York famous spots like Roxy and just a bunch of clubs that were pretty big at the time. And I can't remember. I think the first one was called Club Deep, and it probably fit like 200 people.
And you were spinning hip hop or just trance?
By that point, by the time I was DJing club, I was playing trance and
All
house. Some hardstyle too.
Some hard stuff too.
Yeah. Not anymore, but I used to.
Well, I read about your producing software, especially Region 4.
Yes.
Why are you using Region 4? Because many DJs use Cubase, Logic,
Ableton.
Ableton. Why Region?
I started with FL Studio,
Yeah.
and after a few singles that I put out with FL Studio, I said, let me try something different. And I think someone gave me a copy of their Reason, and I didn't really go out and I didn't really decide which one I wanted or preferred. I was just given Reason, and that's it. I liked it. So.
And you're not using any VST plugins?
Nothing.
All right.
Maybe it's something for the next album. I might branch out into different programs, but this album was just Reason, the built-in instruments that are in there.
Well, I've heard a few songs from you, and I was thinking, just Reason, such a great sound.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, I really like it.
No, there's you can do a lot with it's just about creativity and your inspiration. W&W I think uses Reason as well, and there's some good producers that have started to use it. So it's not really it's not always about the software. Sometimes, to some extent, it is, but you can really do a lot with different programs.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your current DJ and studio setup?
It's still pretty bad, actually. I have two Mackie speakers. I forgot the model number, but a Mac to produce, of course. Also a little laptop to produce when I'm not at home, and just a really old MIDI keyboard and 2 turntables. But I don't really spin turntables when I play live, but it's nice to have in the house with some of the old records that I have. So.
All right. What's your all-time favorite track?
Ooh. All-time favorite track. That's too hard.
The evergreen.
I guess my all-time favorite trance track has to be maybe Suburban Train by Tiesto.
All right.
That's the first thing that comes to mind, but there's a lot. There's a million songs that I really love over the years, but that's one of the early songs that really captivated me.
And what about hip hop? What's your
favorite hip hop track? I don't have a favorite track in mind, but maybe a lot of the Wu-Tang albums are really good. And they're my favorite.
Well, he's especially a hip hop DJ.
Cool.
And producer.
It's nice, man. Wu-Tang.
Yeah, Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan.
About your last album, how long did it take to finish your album?
It took about a year.
About a year.
From last May till this April, and it's finally coming out, so it's really exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite track on?
Elevators.
Elevators.
Yeah, It's a 2-part track,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just I try to do different styles, and I think it has a good 4 or 5 different like mini songs wrapped into it.
And where did you get the inspiration from producing that track?
A little bit of everywhere, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it starts off really like epic, like a movie soundtrack, and then it kind of builds up to this really deep trance tune. So
I listen to it. It's amazing.
yeah, thank you.
What can we expect from you in future? Any big gigs planned or?
Nothing yet. Just seeing where the album goes and seeing where music takes me. I'm trying to have fun and see. You know, it's still a lot of fun to produce, and that's what I love doing. So we'll see where the DJing takes me as well, and just keep going at it.
And what countries you played already?
Well, I'm always playing in New York. That's really my home base. So I play a lot of. I'm playing my album release party there as well. But this is my second time in the Netherlands. I've played in Czech Republic and Italy before, and yeah, I think that's, and also El Salvador. But also otherwise, I haven't really been all over the place like some of the other DJs.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
That's a great question, but would you like to be famous just like Chesto or Airman, or do you prefer the underground scene?
Something in the middle.
In the middle.
Yeah, something where a lot of trance fans will maybe hopefully recognize my music, but I don't want to be too famous where I have 4 or 5 gigs a week. You know, it's crazy. So it's not really the lifestyle I want. But I'd really like to be appreciated for just adding, the music I produce at least.
So I'm understanding you got to school and DJing.
Yeah, I graduated last month. So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how did you, because I'm a student too, how did you can be a DJ and a producer combining with your school?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Really hard. You come home after a long day and just make music for fun, and that's the secret, really.
And what you're going to do now?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
I'll go home from the Netherlands and see what happens.
Alright, but you don't want to be a DJ for as main job.
Honestly, I like what I've been doing, which is mixing the two.
Mhm.
And as long as I can keep doing that, for however long I can keep it up, I'd love to do both architecture and, because that's what I study, architecture. I'd love to do both that and music at the same time. It's hard, but I've been doing it for a while, so hopefully I can keep doing it.
You will be inspiration source for many DJs.
Thank you.
What kind of advice would you give to young producers?
It's really important not to get caught up in trying to get music released.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the best producers are still having fun and don't care if a label puts it out, or don't put the pressure on themselves to get signed. Once you start having fun and really experimenting and trying something different, that's when the labels will say, oh, this guy's good. When you're putting yourself under pressure to sound like somebody, like if you want to sound like Armin van Buren, or you want to sound like this producer or that producer, it comes out less successful than if you do your own thing. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been working for me. So I'm glad that people like my music, but it's really important that new producers do their own thing, make their own sound.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I tell everybody.
Well, today house and trance are combining,
Yeah.
like Avicii, like the other guys. What do you think about a house combination with trance?
It's not my particular favorite,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's great in another sense. Like, it's opening up a lot of fans. There's a lot of music that's kind of attracting different people that weren't normally interested in it, and some of those fans are coming to me and listening to my stuff too. So whenever music can expand to different styles, it's always good for the whole scene in general. Some of the music is not my taste, but for the larger sort of appreciation of dance music, it's opening a lot of listeners up, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Well, I will thank you for this amazing